What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of NF Twins. Today we're talking about airlines don't make money flying, and my hot take: airlines would probably be fintechs if they would be allowed to do that. I want to definitely hear more about that one. That sounds interesting. For me, I want to talk also about cheap airlines, so Ryanair versus low cost, what is called Southwest, and how they actually make most of the money. Because, like, if you think about it, you can fly to within Europe for $20. Like, going to a bar, you pay more for a drink or for two drinks. So how is that even possible? All right, guys. So stay tuned on that one. But now I want to hear from Mark. How do actually the old school airlines make their money if their tickets are so expensive and there are so many alternatives? Well, let's start out with this one, Lucas. If your business makes $6 per customer after 12 security checks, is that a business or is that a bad fucking idea? That's a bad fucking idea. That's why the margins of fucking airline companies is less than 1% or something like this. All right, guys. Everyone knows fucking airlines. Everyone thinks back in the day, glamour, right? Everyone is like thinking champagnes, fucking fancy airplanes. People are flying, global powers, fucking fancy. Let's go. We're going to Ibiza. I don't know what Mark is talking about. I already remember it's like, oh, welcome with Ryanair. We're gonna be half an hour late. You know, everyone clapping. And then like a sandwich for $10. So I'm not sure whether that's the glamour I'm thinking about. International travel, okay? International travel. I mean, our international travel lately. Well, think about it, like something like Qatar Airways, something that's fucking fancy. We never flew that one. We just like flying super cheap ones. We're talking about cheap airlines because we're talking about other airlines, okay? It's like, can I get some water? My mouth is pretty dry. Sleep? No, sorry. Your seats don't recline. What the fuck is this? Half a meter, like, I don't know. No, this doesn't work, man. I'm gonna use the meme like you got more of that fancy airline, Mark. So tell me, so how do you make these fancy airlines actually make their money? All right. So first of all, they have really thin margins, as we already discussed, which is also crazy because they have massive fixed costs, right? Such as capital expenditures such as like the fucking airplanes. Obviously, they have HR costs. What they're not. Also, fuel, exactly, which is also volatile. Yes, they're using futures sometimes, but on the other hand, they only last for a specific amount of time. And there's some new regulatory changes, which we'll talk about later, which is also fucking fantastic business. I'm telling you right now, this thing is making bank because fucking. What is just give me the name of regulation so I can already. I'm gonna give you the name of regulation. It goes about sustainability. How can airlines make money with fucking sustainability? It's not about airlines. It's about a different business. That is basically airlines are the customers. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's fucking start. So, Mark, tell me why the fuck there are airlines potentially tech companies, huge tech companies? Okay, my guess, it has something to do with those miles, which I never understand. I have a miles and more card. To be honest, I have some points in there. Don't even know how to use them. But Mark, please explain me the system and of course, how are they making money? Fucking great guess, and that's what it is, man. It's like a slot machine. You put $1 in, gets fucking 5 out. How does it work for them? You know, there's ever this business model where you think this could be a scam? Well, this kind of seems like it, man. So what they do basically in advance, they sell out all their points to partners such as fintech companies, let's say Amex, like where you can get. You remember we have friends that have an Amex card. They just buy shit on that just to get more mile points, and they get double, they get triple, quadruple, whatever. Wild. You need like a fucking PhD to understand how the system works. Like, oh, if you use this and then combine it with this card, it doubles, triples. It is crazy. So they sell them out in advance. The beginning of the year, they sell, hey, you get, I don't know, 1 trillion points for, I don't know, something like $10 billion or something like that. Some of the deals are in the billions, which is really, really crazy. And then when people actually use these rewards, well, you know what? They're just filling up points, like filling up seats that were empty anyways. So it's fucking really, really smart. There's no additional cost really. Like, because end of the day, once you use them, you still have to pay for the ancillaries. So that means you have to pay for luggage, etc. Okay, ancillaries in general are anything that supports the main business, right? It's secondary. Ancillaries are secondary tasks, right? Secondary things, secondary priority. Which is crazy. So all these fucking points is where they make big money. For example, American Airlines, let me pull it up real quick. They made more their loyalty program was worth more than the actual airline. Can you give me the numbers? Pull it up. But it's like crazy to think about it. Like
I mean, it's super smart that they're selling upfront these points in the end, because like everybody knows that most airlines, I think they overbook 10 to 15% of every flight, and then still so many people don't show up. For example, the best case when we were flying back the other week from New York, no, flying to New York 2 weeks ago, they were offering us, hey guys, do you guys want to volunteer to basically give up your seats because the flight is overbooked? And we was like, oh, I'm not sure. And they were offering us, I don't know, $1,000 or something like this for like a flight that costs us like 500, 550, and it would have paid even the hotel, etc. But we had a wedding, so we couldn't do that. And in the end, even though it was not overbooked, like in the end, we went to the gate and like there were enough seats for everybody. But still, just to think about it, that 15%, at least if it's they overbooked to 15%, and then still not everybody's showing up because either they're too late or they forget about it or they cancel last minute. So it's like crazy that they're able to sell for 50% over and then still not everybody shows up. And now, Mark, tell me, what is it?
So basically, look, they okay, let me start with Delta first. So Delta, for example, they had a deal with Amex that was remunerated at 7.4 billion in 2024, and 10% of it's called RPM. That's revenue per mile.
I only know. I think what is it called? RPM is
revenue passenger mile. So it's basically a metric in the airline system where it's just like, hey, if you have 100 people that fly 1,000 miles, that's 100,000 RPMs. Okay. Which is crazy. And then they also have ASM, which is the available seat mile, because you have to convert, like you have to percentage, right?
Yeah.
The load factor is just like a percentage of how much of the plane was actually full. So if there's, I don't know, 1 million
what is it?
ASMs available seat mileage, what?
No. What is the percentage? Do you know that by any chance?
Well, it really depends. But my point is just that 9% of, for example, the RPM, so the revenue passenger mile, that were actually was like a war travel. So that we're using loyalty points. So that means a fucking shit. First of all, that's a lot. Second of all, there's a fucking shit ton of points that are not actually getting used. They are fucking some points, and at some points also somehow they age out, right?
Exactly. That's what another question is. I don't know. I remember back in the day, 15 years ago. Well, yeah, 15 years ago when we were flying off for like to live in the US, I got miles and more card, and it's like, oh my god, later I can use these points. I'm sure these points are long gone. I think I still have that card, miles and more. I don't even know my login information. The password's already like far gone. I'm not even using the email anymore. But it's smart. Like if they're selling it before, super good.
Yeah, no, I mean, anyways, it's fucking crazy. So they have a really, really big deals with them. And the cool thing is
how do they make money though? How do these other partners, why would they buy these miles?
Well, they can add more value to their customers. And look, it's also psychological. Think about it this way. People are actually fucking, oh, you know what? I'm going to fly because I buy this because I get more miles.
Okay, so basically, now I get it. I think that's really important to understand for the users well, our audience. So basically, if you want to offer, for example, credit card providers, they need to buy the miles up front and then later say, hey, if you use my Amex card, you will get 5x of whatever you spend.
Exactly.
But they buy up front these points from the providers, from the airlines, so they already have the money up front, and then they have to calculate that the other users will use their product to earn these points.
Exactly. So 1 second. So the crazy thing is, then think about it this way: at the beginning of the year, they already have the money coming in. The turnover till they get the money back is negative because they sell them in advance, and then they have to provide the services later on.
Which is at that point, which is the opposite of the normal airlines, because what they do is they have so much costs up front. Like, well, not every airline. So, for example, Virgin does it differently.
They sell advance,
which is actually super smart if you think about it. So, Virgin Airline, what's his name again? I forgot the founder. Anyways, the one who has the lion hair.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, exactly. So he does really smart. So, for example, he wanted to start his own airline company. Everybody's like, it's impossible to do. It's impossible to do. And what he ended up doing is he went to like an airline, like, hey, would it be possible to get rent an airline? He's like, no, they're all for for Lufthansa and all these things. And then in the end, what he was able to do, he was basically sell up front every ticket, and then went to the airline company and then got the airline. If I'm not wrong, let me Richard Branson double check this, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was.
Yeah, that's how it was actually. It's fucking crazy.
And
It's like a negative payback period. They
Yeah.
pay in advance.
Yeah.
Same with the oh my god, what's it called? What did Felix do with the where you raise money on these websites? Kickstarter and all that stuff. Kind of similar concept, right? So you can have the money in advance and you provide the service later on. Anyways, coming back to it. So as Lucas mentioned, they sell the points to these big fintech companies, and the fintech companies obviously add these loyalty programs or etc. to their customer or offerings. The customer then can redeem them. The points is a very, very, very interesting point because they fucking love this shit. I'm fucking everybody loves collecting points. And it's just like, I'm going to do you know what? I'm going to buy with this card just because this way I'm going to collect my points.
Reward for system, anything.
Exactly. Everybody loves this shit. So that's why this is fantastic and it's genius. Also, they are also co-branding credit cards. So there's like this, obviously, send out like the cards that are with, I don't know, MasterCard or whatever. And then like the Lufthansa or whatever it is. Or they had one, for example, you also can use, and they get paid for it. So they get a percentage. It's fantastic. It's much better business because at the end of the day, you don't need to do much more. You're just doing branding or you're selling off something in advance. And then you have the users who, at the end of the day, utilizing the points to the main service that are you providing anyways. Obviously, there's also something like merchandise, etc. is on the side, but that's something you sell anyways as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing special. So it's
wild.
It's cool. It's like that's what I'm saying. It's more of a fintech in that regard. It's like it's similar with. No, it's not even similar with like car companies.
It's unique but the interesting part is only because they're doing the airline stuff, they're able to provide this high profitable other business, right? So there's like, because they are able to have the airline, which is not profitable, barely profitable.
It is profitable, but
yeah, it's profitable, but like the margins are garbage. They can do the other high tech, the tech stuff, which is like super profitable.
Yeah. Also, another thing, which is, some of the airlines are obviously supported by the government. So, for example, all the Arab countries, usually like Qatar Airways and all that stuff, they do have governments just supporting them, just blowing money into them. That's why they usually like, hey, we're the fancy brand, we're very luxurious, everything is new, etc. But that's because they usually are supported by the government. They get a lot of money, which is insane. Also, because think about it, look, fintechs on the other hand, also think about N26. We're using N26, love the bank, but they're offering in there already, like they have partnerships, right? And this is the same concept what the airlines do. Basically, they have partnerships. Like, hey, this is a discount here, and then they still obviously get a cut.
That is so smart. I mean, bought our flight tickets to the US through N26. Out of a sudden, our N26 was offering like push notification. Hey, do you need an eSIM for your travels? Buy now. I don't know how to activate it, but like crazy. I was just like, wait, what did I just offer? Wait, Mark, look at this notification.
It's fucking
like
smart.
Offering me eSIM for a travel, like super, super cool. And things I would never have thought about. They can cross sell and then make money, like, because they're making a cut, right? They can say, hey, I know what transactions are coming in. I can offer you this, but I need
to monetizing their main user better. Or enabling also something that's practical. For me, that was a mind blowing. It was super cool.
Also, for me, it didn't feel intrusive at all because I was like, oh, that's very useful. In the end, we didn't use it because we already had a different provider, but that was very, very cool.
Yeah, same, agree. Also, it wasn't like crazy, like, oh, I know that you go on the 24th, whatever it is, or something like that. You're just like, oh yeah, by the way, if this is that. No, which is cool. I like that. I like that they're utilizing it much better. Also, in general, I like the functionality that it differentiates. Oh, this was food. Yeah. This was, I don't know, a purchase on Amazon.
That's true.
More tech.
I want to talk now about low-cost airlines. So they're basically opposite of tech. Well, actually, they might be very tech-enabled. But Mike, how do you think it's possible that airlines like Ryanair can fly for like 20 euros to Rome from Barcelona, for example?
Okay, based on Okay, based on my research, is obviously there's a couple of things how airlines will generate revenue. Obviously, loyalty programs. We already mentioned that. Regular airfare. Then there's also cargo. Some of them do cargo, so you add additional revenue through that, and probably secondary things like luggage, whatnot. You have also these are the revenue streams.
All right. So I also thought maybe it's because they have cargo, etc. Ryanair does zero cargo. They're saying our cargo are our customers. So what they're basically, so first of all, I want to come to 4 points, actually 5 points, why they have a ultra lean cost structure. So first of all, the fleet is always the Boeing 737s. Every airline, everyone, because it's easier for training, maintenance. Because if you have,
it's just one.
It's just one. You just need to be trained for one. Otherwise, you need to be trained for every airline.
All right.
Then point-to-point routes. So meaning there is no layovers. You need fewer staffs. And then secondary airports. You don't go to the expensive airports because the expensive airports just.
True, makes sense.
Also, another reason why they don't do cargo is because cargo takes too long to unload. They unload because they want to aim for a higher turnaround. So basically, less time on the ground, more on the air.
Yeah.
And otherwise, with cargo, you have to unload it, etc. It takes more people, etc. So it doesn't make sense. Also, no frills, no free luggage, etc. Well, this is Ryanair, right? Basically,
they don't even have. Think about it. They don't have the pouch in the seat in front of you, so the garbage.
Exactly.
So it's cleaner. It's easier to clean up.
Ads and that's the only thing they have. But my point is, if I want to compare two, like the European version, which is Ryanair, and then I want Southwest Airlines on the other side, because in Ryanair you have zero luggage.
Yeah.
On Southwest, you got 2 luggages included, and
that's also low cost.
Yeah, it charged like $100. It's actually still much cheaper than the legacy airlines. But I want to now go into, because it's also different, like from the mentality. Because Ryanair, if you buy a $20, like a €20 flight, you're not going to end up just paying 20, because they will charge you, like they dime you, like they take you out. You didn't print your ticket, or you want a seat, you pay extra. You want to have
the luggage is too expensive. The sizes of the luggage is too big.
The tiny thing. Oh no, they're gonna charge you for everything. Whereas Southwest, they don't charge you because they have the luggage in there, right? So I want to break this down a little bit. So for example, in Ryanair, what they're doing, they're making, like, how much money do you think they're making with auxiliary? What do you call it? Like ancillary revenues
in terms of percentage.
Ancillaries, for example, would be baggage fees, seat selection, priority boarding, food and drinks on board, advertising, as well as car rental, hotel insurance.
35%.
40%.
I was close.
It's which is crazy if you think about it, because this is where they make tons of money. Think about it, like 40% of your business.
Yeah, also these are the stuff that's probably the highest profit margin anyways.
Yeah, because the other one, man, horrible. I actually have a breakdown of how much it costs. So for example, a Ryanair ticket, base fare is $20.
Mm-hmm.
The total average revenue of a passenger is roughly 50, actually. Because you have to think about
low.
Baggage, €15. Seat selection, 5. Food, drinks, 5 to 10. Partnerships with hotel, car rentals, another 3 to 5. Now, the cost structure is it's in total 35 per person. So you have 12 the fuel. The staff are 6. Aircraft at least is 8. Then you have like handling, another 7 of the airport. Then insurance overhead 2, and that's a total of 35. So profit 15, which is actually not bad. If you think about it, Ryanair had more than 180 million passengers in 2023. That's 2.7 billion in operating profits, which is a huge number, right? And Southwest on the other side has a higher base fee, but they also have higher costs for like the staff, etc. So, which is like, for me, it was mind blowing to see.
What's their profit like?
The profit is similar. So they have per passenger 35. So on $100 ticket, they making roughly 35 per passenger, because their total revenue per passenger is roughly 120. but the cost per passenger is 85 compared to the passenger cost of Ryanair is 35. So because they don't charge you for everything, right? There's no hidden costs. Whereas in Ryanair, they're the masters of hidden costs. Like everything, like you forget about it. That just reminds me of the freaking car rental companies when we were in Mexico. Like we rented it through Booking, and it says there on Booking you can pick it up after 1, and we arrived at like 2 or 3 because our flight was we thought like, okay, after 1 it's ready, we can pick it up. So we arrived there at 3. It's like 2 hours later, and they're like, yeah, no. You only had a time slot of like 15 or 30 minutes to pick it up, and now I can't rent you out this car, but I can give you an upgrade, and you have to pay like the double the price. But we don't want to upgrade. We can see there's still cheap ones out there. Yeah, no. But what if other customers come? So we still have to. So, man, bullshit. So untransparent, and Jesus Christ. So these are things that you have to be aware of. That when you do these things that Ryanair does, this will really people will not like it because it's not transparent. I'd rather have a higher price and know there are no other additional costs than the low cost stuff.
Unless you're already familiar with it.
Yeah, if it's something. Look, when you do it once, exactly. If you do it multiple times, because there are no alternatives, right? For example, the reason I fly Ryanair is because it's a third of the price.
Also because we know already what the risks are.
Yeah, true.
Look, we didn't know with the car rental, for example. We're already so familiar with it, so we know exactly what the tricks are to not get charged. So that's why. So I think that's a caveat that needs to be put in there.
Well point. That's true.
Because look, for me, even now, if there was the other option, Southwest Airlines, I would still go with that. I would still go with Ryanair because it's cheaper, and I usually travel just with my my backpack, and that's it. And I know that I haven't had any problems with it, and it's unlikely that I'm gonna have problems with it, sizing wise, etc. So I'm good.
Point. All right, Mark, I'm ready now to hear about the environmental thing. Because now, by the way, also Southwest does cargo, but it only makes 2% of its entire revenue. That's why I also, Ryanair says, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have cargo. Now, Mark, tell me about the environmental law.
Look, guys, I already told you before, there is a massive variable cost for airlines. What is it? You remember? Oh, yes, it is. It's the fuel cost. And SAF, which stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel, is one of the biggest looming costs that might be hitting the airline soon. Why is that? Because there are some regulations that will impact that.
In Europe or worldwide?
I think this is worldwide.
Because that would be also one of the things to be really aware of. Because think about it. All these Middle Eastern airlines don't give a fuck if it's not worldwide, right? Because if they don't need to hit that.
I think there's some regulations, obviously. But anyways, I'm just going to tease a little bit. If you guys like it, please comment below, and we're going to hit that in the next episode because it's just too long to go into it now. So anyway, sustainable aviation fuel is basically fuel that is generated through, cooking oil and waste and synthetic process, okay? So basically recycled. It's just recycled.
Because otherwise it sounds like horrible.
Yeah, but it's very similar to kerosene.
So E10? So similar to what they're offering,
it's just
the
for
green version, E10, whatever.
It's very similar to E10, what they have here, which is like biofuel, 10% biofuel in there in regular gasoline. And this is just for kerosene because kerosene is what planes are running on. So it's just something like that. So there's no need to change any engines. It works the same way. But costs are much higher. All right, if this is the teaser, I'm not going to talk more into it. So if you like it, please comment below. And
of course, catch you in the next one. Peace.